Hi, I'm Robin. I'm from Chanti Art Creations, and I live in Kamloops, BC, Canada. And my class was on using everyday items to create cards. And that just came up because I've only been making cards for about 4 years now. So I still consider myself pretty new at this. And one day I was actually washing my frying pan in my dishwasher, and I pulled it out and the bottom piece of my frying pan fell off. And I'll just show you, this little piece at the bottom fell off of my frying pan, and instead of throwing it in the garbage, I right away thought that would make a cool design on a card. So you can see I've masked off with some cardstock spots here, and I'll just show you. I don't actually have the card that I created, but if you can see, that's the design that it made. I just sprayed some ink through it. And so that's what kind of started me off on this. And so the card that I made for the class was this one here. And the little square designs there are the bottom of a spice jar that I stamped on there. So you guys may have already discovered many different items from your home that you've used in your own crafting. And if you do, I would love to hear about them. My freebie is a list of 25 plus items that you can use just from around your house. And yeah, I just find it fun to experiment, see what I can use in my crafting. So if you have any things you've used, definitely let me know. And if you have any questions, of course, throw them up in the chat. I'm going to have a little sip of my coffee. When did you start making videos, since you've only been card making for 4 years? I think I started making videos about 2 years ago. I watched a lot of videos to start with. Actually, the very first card video that I ever saw was Laurel. And I just really liked the laid back style that she had. And, you know, everything, she makes amazing cards, and it didn't have to be like perfection and having all of the newest supplies, because, you know, we don't always have the budget to go out and buy everything new. And so that's also why I have kind of created things using different supplies that I've found around my home. Buying new supplies is fun and wonderful, but if you can't go out and buy something new, find something that you've got around your home and create that way. And when I started making videos, I was kind of terrified to do it, because I'm very much an introvert and more on the quiet side. And I honestly, at first, kind of doubted myself and thought, who am I to make cards on YouTube? Excuse me. But you know what? We all have our own unique styles, and we all have our own personalities. And I think it's wonderful to learn from each other. And I love seeing the diversity of crafters out there and the diversity of creations. So I decided, why not just jump into it? Did you already use a jelly plate to gel print, as we use a lot of household items in there? I have seen videos with that, but I actually do not own one of those. It has been on my little wish list of things to try out at some point. But no, I have not used one yet, but I do see that they make wonderful creations. I have kind of gone around my kitchen, my living room. I went into my husband's office the other day and inked up the seat of his leather couch that he's got in his office. And I actually have just the print of that. I haven't created a card with it yet, but this is the print from a leather couch. Now, I will say, if you're going to use items like inking up your couch, definitely test your ink on an area that you don't care if it gets ruined first. I use a lot of Distress Oxide inks when I'm doing that, because I find they wipe off really easily. So his couch wiped off with no problem at all. But there's lots of different items that you can find. What is the most unique household item you have used? Well, the other day I actually used the mesh packaging from garlic I bought a 3-pack of garlic at the grocery store, and it came with this purple mesh packaging. And when I took the garlic out of the packaging and kind of stretched it out, I thought, oh, that's kind of a cool, unique shape. And so I did a video that's coming out on my YouTube channel next week, I think maybe next Thursday. And I made 4 cards using that mesh garlic packaging. And so the first one here, I added the mesh over a panel and put it in my little splatter box, and I spritzed some Distress Spritz over it, and then carefully took the packaging off, and that is the impression that it left. And then I also took that same mesh, and when I took it off of that, I laid it on another card panel to use it as a stamp. And this is the card that I created with that. And then I do like to play with a lot of different sprays and stuff. So I did another one with that same garlic, but I used some different mica spray and Distress Oxide spray, and again sprayed through it, and then again stamped with it, and then threw it in the garbage. Some of the things you have to throw away afterwards. Some of them you can clean off and reuse. What is your favorite technique for beginning crafters? Well, to be honest, what really first got me excited about card making when I first watched some videos was the embossing powders. I still love watching the embossing ink melt, or the ink and the powder just melt on there. So I think that embossing is a wonderful technique for beginners, but really, like I said, any of these things, inking up anything. I've got candles from Bath and Body Works, and the Christmas candles often have some decorative top on there. And so if you have an ink pad that you can put on multiple different surfaces and stamp from, this makes a beautiful Christmas card. I haven't actually used this particular candle, but I have the lid from another candle. I have used this one and made several Christmas cards out of this one, but I don't have those ones anymore. I've either given them out or I've sold them on my Etsy shop. How do you keep the paper from warping when using sprays? I can't seem to master it. I do find it often warps. I have one here that you can see is quite warped. Sometimes I will run it through my embossing machine just in the plates without a folder or anything, and that helps a little bit. Other than that, it's just putting a lot of glue on when I glue it down onto the card, and just pressing it or putting a book on there to flatten it. And usually it does flatten pretty good. You can see on this one that I did make, if I go sideways, it's slightly warped, but not bad at all. So really just have fun with whatever it is that you can find in your house, and just experiment. I think experimenting is wonderful. Does anybody have any last questions? Other than that, you can find me at Chanti Art Creations on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. And yeah, I'd love to see you around, and I look forward to seeing what you create. Have a wonderful rest of your summit.